from the front office bosses podcast. We are back. Another episode. Check, we're gonna jump right into it, man. We got the cast in the building. Y'all already know it's Kenny Miller Lamb. We got, I'm calling governments and shit, but you know. And I ain't gonna call these out.
Southern Yankee right
here.
There
you go, Southern Yankee.
Gonna be triple black.
And this is triple black.
I'm just a shade darker than Oreo.
Nah, we're gonna triple
darkness.
Darkness, everybody. Darkness is spreading.
But nah, yo, to TikTok, this is definitely our first time live on TikTok. We have a podcast, Firm Up His Bosses podcast, that we been doing for about 6-7 years now, strictly on Facebook. But we moving, we moving around this year, so you know we'll see. Yeah, for sure. But check it, we gonna jump right into it. I was talking to one of my homeboys, his friends, a few weeks ago. He was going through a situation, you know, child support. One we don't like to talk about really, but you know, as men, I've never been on child support. Some people may say I'm unqualified to speak on this subject, but I've been around people and you know, I know exactly how it goes. But the situation was that I want to speak about is what's too much money for a kid or kids, or is it such thing as too much money when you're not with the parents who has the kid kind of full time?
Yeah.
But we're not gonna speak on what number, but it was a big number that he may have to give, and I was just thinking like, damn, that's all of that for one kid is a little crazy. Now some people will be like, well, yo, you know, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. Question I asked, I was like, well, what does a 7-year-old need? I know there's extracurricular activities. I know there's, you know,
it is a lot.
I know he pays doctor things and all that as well.
It's a lot.
But I just didn't, you know, the number was crazy.
I think I definitely I get it that a child needs a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
I think when it comes to the men, it's just like there should be some kind of a limit, man. There's got to be some kind of a ceiling, as they say, you know, that stops us. Because you look at what's going on now in the professional league with these guys that are getting these contracts for $280 million, $80 million, $100 million. They get with these beautiful women, and 3 years, a year, they've divorced them, and now you got these cats paying $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month for one child because she wants to live a certain way.
That's crazy.
You know, it's absolutely.
What Kobe said he wasn't what we shooting in the gym, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm not saying that there's any, the child definitely deserves the best. But at some point, it's just like, it seems like when it's on the man's side, it seems like we're getting, we're just getting run over, you know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like, you really can't trust be with nobody if you're successful, and it seems to me that cats that are deadbeats, they're not even on child support. Bro. Or if they are on child support, it's some minimal $25 a week. You know what I'm saying? What can you do for $25 a week? But I also need to know for the men that are paying this $20,000 and $30,000 a month, what can you get for that?
Hey, I believe in taking care of your kids. Go ahead.
But let me say this: my brother right here, my co-host here, has a lot more knowledge of how you can deflect these things, and like I said, and as he was talking, as he was talking earlier, like I told him, I'm in a different situation, and I always say it's best to never be a teacher and always be a student, especially if there's somebody who has greater knowledge than you do, or they can show you something to reduce what you're doing and give you a better aspect. So my brother Corey right here will tell y'all exactly how he.
I'm not.
No. What? Leave that. Don't leave that. I ain't know. Because you gave me some insights and some intellect on things I did not know about. About rights that men have that we don't know about.
That's the thing. That's where it starts. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people go into the situation thinking they don't have no bearings or no
Right,
leverage,
exactly.
or no, nothing
Exactly.
on there. So men going,
Yes.
yes, thinking they don't have nothing on their side, or that the system is against them, and that's partially true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every situation is different.
Yeah.
You start there.
And
but
this is to the deadbeats. We ain't talking about Go ahead.
you're talking about everybody.
Nah, but
I mean,
we
because
gonna break that down later.
there's because the system don't care about neither party. You know what I'm saying?
It's the system.
The system don't care about neither party, and that's what the
That's
two
real.
parties
That's
don't
real.
know,
Right.
or don't
real.
understand.
Which is, and and I don't mean to interject, but if you can, ladies, it's better that you stay out of that system. Keep your business and his business out of the system, because once you bring the system in, guess what? Y'all are both on sides. Because let me tell you this: for some of y'all ladies out here that think you gonna take this man to the bank and you gonna do this and do that, let me tell you something. You just about one step from fucking up, because guess what? You do something wrong, automatically that same leverage you had on him will return to you, and before you know it, you will be on child support, or you be paying back.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I said, I know a lot of guys that are on child support, and I know, but they are awesome, excellent fathers. They may have the kid more than a little bit, bro. Like, so, but again, when I heard that number, it just had me like, yo, bro, that's
the
crazy.
thing about it is, because the system is the way it is. Once you get into it, you start to take it personal.
You do.
And everybody take it personal, and it's not to be, because to be truthfully, once the order or whatever is in place,
Yeah.
the woman has nothing to do with it no more.
Oh, I know. It's
She
all,
has
yeah,
nothing to do with it no more.
Or she has brought a third party in, and they
running
control
itself.
everything.
But
They run the show.
from the beginning, when you read the birth certificate, it tells you who the mother is.
To tell you the father.
No, it tells you what the mother is.
Yeah.
On the birth certificate.
Enlighten us for the people who.
It tells you the mother is an informant. It tells you that. Once they went on the birth certificate, it tells you the mother is the informant. So she's informant on the child and the father.
That's right. And if you don't pay child support, she gonna call them people
You know,
down there,
so-
tell them, hey, he ain't paying child support.
Too much.
This way he live, this way he work. You know what I'm saying?
There
Now
go.
you on the line doing your work, and it,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
I mean, but then
You know what I mean?
ultimately the system don't care about the mother,
Yeah.
the child, or the father. You know.
Once you enter the system, they're like, all right, since we gonna not waste our time, but use our time, we gonna make this a business. We gonna make sure we
It
get
is.
our way.
It is.
We gonna get the
Child
next-
It is a
support.
business.
Child support is a
Yeah.
business.
It's-
It very much is a business.
Again, I'm not against.
Because
If you're not doing shit for your child and your ass need to be sought after, that's cool. But if you doing shit for your kid, man, you have your kids. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro, because I've never been in that situation. But when I keep hearing my homeboys, the shit they complain about, I'm like, but you just went out of town, out of the country with your kid for 3 weeks, and
nobody can
before that,
explain
you were taking to school and
Nobody
Wait,
can
hold on,
explain
like,
it. Nobody can
but
explain
you buy all her clothes and shit and
Nobody
Oh,
Let
can
me
Matt,
have that kid.
guess what?
Come
None of
on.
that-
I'll be like, wait.
Child support don't care about
Yo,
nothing that
bro.
you did.
Yeah, I mean,
All they care about is if you send that money, or that money
yeah,
is deducted from your paycheck.
It's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
That's
You don't
all
give
I'm
a
saying,
damn about. You took them to Africa on a safari for 6 weeks. Guess what?
That's how they like.
You was gone for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, we need that money.
Yeah,
For
make
them
sure you
6
pay
weeks.
that.
Make sure you pay us.
Yeah.
Make sure you pay us. Or we coming to take your license, and then if we take your license, then we put a warrant out for you. Depending on what state you in.
But the whole thing is taking care of the kid, though.
Yeah, it is.
And
But
that
child support don't care about it.
I know, but
The system don't care about
no, more so even as the woman, if that's the main goal, and you see this main goal being met consistently, then this is where my question comes into play. Like, what are we doing? Like, no, if I'm paying the daycare,
it.
and I'm paying everything you don't have to pay,
That don't matter.
what do you?
It don't matter when it
And-
comes down. Once you in that system, once y'all in that
I know that
system,
sounds shallow as
it
fuck, but
don't matter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a you versus me thing.
It is. And you know what? Let me say this too to interject with that. And I mean this on both ends, but mostly the female ends. Let me say this. Some of you ladies out here would do better to leave that man away from child support and getting that third party involved, because you would be better off with him being able to do what he needs to do for his child.
But when a female goes to the system,
it's bitterness.
Sometimes it may not be bitterness.
Not always, but sometimes
it's bitterness and sometimes it's jealousy.
And let me say this too.
You know what I mean? Or sometimes it's just being vindictive.
And two, sometimes too is, let me say this because I know women have a hard time, and sometimes it's too is that the father just don't give a fuck. Cause we got
those motherfuckers that don't be on child
support. I know.
And let me say and that's what and let me say, getting back to what I was saying. Some of y'all will go down there being vindictive, and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna put you on child support." But guess what, though, ladies? What you don't realize is that child support is only an allocation of what that man makes. Even if he is not on a legal job, if he comes to the court right now, he just shows up for child support court for the hearing, right? And the judge is there to say, this is what I'm going to give him, right? And let's just say he doesn't necessarily have a job that he gets taxes taken out of, right? If that man says that I work under the table, I do odd and end jobs, right? So the judge can't really say, well, I see when you're making $1,800 a week or you're making this a month, right? Now, mind you, I'm saying this for the good men. I'm saying this for the fathers that's trying to show up, right? For the good men. And he says, and she texts him and he said, I need diapers or I need this, I need, and he show up. He show up, right? But for some reason, all of a sudden, she might see this man with a new woman, or she see him somewhere, so now she's jealous and she's mad. Mm-hmm. She going to child support. She signed up for this, right? And they go to court, and this is what the judge says. Well, maybe this. He says, now, and the man comes and he tells the judge, look, I do all the end jobs. This is what I make every week, right? I only make $400 a week. Or I make $100 a day. Yeah. The judge looks at him and he says, okay, the man only makes $100 a day. You still got to pay rent. You still got to pay light bill. You still got to do all these things besides what the child needs, even though the child's number one, right? So the judge says, well, you don't make but so much money. So guess what? I'm going to give you $25 a week. Now what? He was giving you $200 to $300. He was paying the daycare. He was paying every time you called. Every time you needed something, he was there. He was right there. I ain't talking about the deadbeats. I'm saying the man who he's trying to be. Even though he's struggling a little bit. Yeah. And sometimes he might not, you might call right then and say, okay, such and such need this. Okay, baby, look here. I know what he needs, but I ain't got the money right now, but just give me a day or two, let me get the money to him. Right. Now, you went down there and destroyed this man's life, put him on child support. All you getting is.
But see, that
right? You get $100 a month. The judge said, based on what he said he made, I cannot get blood out of a turnip. Right. Well, I can only give you $100 a month. I can only give you $200 a month. But we know for a fact that it takes much more to feed a child than $200 a month. I didn't need to go in so long. But I'm just giving you a scenario of what can happen when you can just
that does happen.
When you can just leave the if he a deadbeat, what does it matter? Because he ain't give you shit no way. Right. He ain't give you nothing, and he ain't gonna pay child support. So they're gonna put a warrant out on him. They're gonna lock him up. They're gonna take his license. He's gonna do a month, 2-3 months. Jail's overrun. So they gonna keep him in there because he's non-violent offender. Well, let him fuck out. Pay this much right here, and then you caught back up.
But see, this.
My thing is, I don't think you can be for the so-called community or for the black people if you got your, you know what I mean?
You got a third party involved.
To child support. Not all cases, but how can you uplift the community if, you know what I mean, you don't
went down there and put this man on. Yeah.
See, but is it a monetary, okay.
But the problem is the community thing is shattered, man. On the other side of that, too, it really is.
I mean,
I don't know.
It depends.
You know, the kids don't be costing no $3,000.
No, they don't.
$10,000. Let's keep it gully, bro. Like, not $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month.
No.
Like,
it's not the female that's coming up with them prices.
I know.
Like you said, it's the third party.
It's the system.
The third party.
But like you said in the beginning, why can we not come to an agreement?
Because
okay,
I don't want to look like a chump. I don't want to look like like this. Or my friends are telling me this,
and that's a bigger issue, bro. Like
the system is telling me this, and
bro,
and I heard this. You know,
that's
I heard
an internal problem.
If my parent, if my mom is watching the baby, I can get child support, child care extra. You know what I mean? Like
in child care,
little extra.
Yeah, to make your life
comments
miserable.
that people.
That's my thing. Like,
that's to make your life
look,
miserable.
the kid then has to go to the father, which is sucked dry, and then when some women here, they be like, "Well, you should be making more money." That's not how life works. Everybody don't make the same amount of money, bro. Like,
you're right about that.
I'm tired of hearing that even in itself. But then when a child goes to the father and he's sucked dry, then it's a worse situation, right? So in my mind, it's like, yo, why wouldn't you want the father to be okay enough if the goal is the kid? If the goal is the kid,
I'm not
all this personal shit should not matter.
I'm not alright.
Alright, well, you need to deal with that on your own.
I look bad.
That's the problem. It don't matter.
You know,
yeah, man.
I mean, look a certain kind of way.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
When it comes to men and women are emotional creatures.
I understand that. Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to fight. You have to almost
perception.
You have to almost be like, an ass kisser or super nice to keep them at a certain, keep them at bay at a certain level, because it's to the point where too, it's like
I'll tell you why I'm laughing.
And I had a good friend of mine who was not on child support. He was doing everything he needed to do. He was, he's a great provider. I want to call his name. If you see this, I'm talking about you.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about. You have long conversations over coffee and everything else we do. And everything was great, right? He was paying the tuition for the kids to go to private school. He made sure, he even paid, let me tell you, and I've been in this situation too. And I can say this, and there's no denying this. I was in a situation too where I helped the significant other pay bills at a place where I wasn't even living, but because my kids were there, I felt the need to say, okay, let me take some of the burden off of you. Let me help you with your rent. Let me help you with your light bill. Okay, every Friday, every Saturday, your house got groceries.
Right.
And I still got to put groceries in my own house. And the kids coming back over there. I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk.
Go ahead. No,
I'm talking too long.
No. Go ahead.
But in that situation, you trying to do everything that you can, and then all of a sudden, they see you with another female. Mind you, now they doing their own thing. All of a sudden, I'm gonna put you on child support.
Right. Yeah.
What?
Right.
You split that money that way too.
That's why.
Oh, if you can be here, doing this and doing that, then you should be giving me something else.
That's crazy.
Nah, but see, when you sit there and you say, "Oh, I did this for my children here," or "I did this for the household here because my children were here," you didn't do that for them.
You did it for yourself.
You did it for yourself. You did it.
I've heard
that you did it because of your male ego.
Okay.
You want that's what a male does. You know what I'm saying? You showed up.
You
know what I'm saying? You showed up.
Right.
You didn't do that for the kids. You did that for you. That's
because
that's what you do.
Right.
Yes.
That's what you. It's in your nature to do that.
I agree, and I think you are very right.
So, no, but it's people that they boast that like, I paid the bill over there. I don't even live there.
I agree.
But you didn't do that for them. You did that for you.
Now
to make yourself feel good.
And I can say yes to that. Hearing from a woman saying that, I can say no.
Of course. I mean,
no,
I'm not
bitch.
gonna say it like I said.
Nah, bitch.
Hey, yo,
You're not gonna say it like I said. You know what I mean?
Nah, bitch. I did not know. But and let me say this.
She gonna come and go like,
But let's also say to the real men who really care about their kids' situation.
Well,
because I had a situation, and I was in that situation too, where the lights off. I need this. To turn the lights back on. So but then let me say this. I got to a point where I was just like this too. In that situation too, where I was just like, you know what? I'm no longer gonna do this. And my resolution for if you are short on this, then guess what? Let my kids come home to where they are.
I know exactly.
I know it's gonna be a lot of mixed.
I know what you mean.
You
I see what
you step up and you do what you feel is necessary at the time or for the situation.
Yeah.
But as far as just saying like, oh, my kids are here or I'm buying food here, because that's a question to go around online.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get that.
If your kid should a guy buy groceries for their baby mother's house?
I did it.
You know what I'm saying?
I did it every week. And let me say, and I can say this because
you don't do it because of them or for them or to make them look bad.
You're doing it for your
help
ego.
them. You're doing it for yourself because that's what
you want to be a real man.
You want to feel like
because you ain't gonna lie.
That shit make you feel good.
Yo, I said it
make you feel good.
I'm passionate about it. Because it's right.
You know what I mean? Like
I bet look here.
That's a
Shit,
nigga
nigga, look here.
As soon as you leave,
can't tell you nothing. Like, I'm
soon as you leave with the shit, you like, shit.
Shit, nigga. Yeah, nigga. I dropped 400. I dropped 400 on groceries.
Yeah.
I was living this motherfucker.
And I didn't even put another in my house. Yeah.
And I'm about to go back and spend another 400 for my house. So when they come to my house, get all the shit they want.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Nah,
but I mean, like,
that's just a male thing to do.
I know what you're saying, but it is tied to it. You wanting to do it for the kid.
And we got
it's tied to it, but I know what you're saying.
But let's also say too, you know, and it was hard for me to accept what you said, but now I get what you're saying. But let's also say too, for those who are the men who want to do for their children in that situation, you know what I'm saying? Because many will say, okay, well, that's her house. I ain't paying for shit. Whatever dude you laying down with, when he come over there, after he done doing his deed, he leaves something on the side table.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that think that feel that way.
Hey, yo.
You know?
But
I was never like that.
No, I mean, because it's not like that all the time.
But
it's not like that all the time.
But my kids, I can say this. My kids would text me, "Hey, Dad, we have a house. We need some groceries. Can you, you know, because there ain't nothing over here."
Yeah.
So I know, and then like I said, that was the beginning where I didn't know my self-worth.
Right.
I didn't know what kind of rights I had.
Right.
And with children, they are very, they're very visual. They were in a new space with their mom, so it's new. It's you know, so that you cannot blame kids.
It's an emotional thing.
Yeah, for wanting to be somewhere new. Oh, we got a pool and we got this and we got that.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't realize that. You know, God bless my dad and my mom. You know, they told me. You know, when things was going like this, he said, "Hey, look, Earl, I know you're going through a lot of things, but let me tell you something. Eventually, them kids, that shit's gonna get old.
Yeah.
And they were born here. This is where they grew up at. Yeah. This is their sanctuary. Yeah, it's new for them. But let me tell you something. That shit gonna get old real fast. You wait and see, because they all gonna come back home. Because where they at, they can't do what they want to do.
Right.
And if I had taken in their wisdom from them being older than me.
But you wasn't ready.
I was
Right.
not, because I was still trying to
Right.
save my family.
Right.
You know,
Right.
hey, look.
They ain't know what they was talking about.
Yeah.
You ain't
I'm
good
going.
for this, man.
I'm going.
Now, you the only one that went through this shit.
You know, I think it's deep. No, you
I'm
don't
the
know.
only one
You
that
don't
went through
understand.
I'm going to get my
Nobody
kids.
else know about
I'm
this
going to
shit.
get my. I'm going to get my
I'm
wife
the
back.
first motherfucker
And
that
they be like, you know what? Fuck it, go ahead. You
I'm
know
gonna
what?
get
Go ahead.
Hey, look, I'm gonna show her I can get better man.
Right.
And I'm gonna win her back. Look, baby, look what I'm doing.
See,
Yeah,
how
yo.
this shit get you?
Hey, look,
That's how it gets you.
I done went and got some new house.
Hey,
I got you a new car, not knowing that
None of that
That's
shit
not
matters.
gonna
That
matter.
shit matters.
That
It's
shit
not gonna matter.
bro.
That shit
it's
matters.
not gonna matter.
Yeah,
You
Nah,
know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
That
And-
shit ain't gonna matter till 40 years down the line.
Yup.
But
Damn, I could have had that shit.
God, boy, listen, boy.
Now when you down and out, like, damn. Yeah, that's crazy.
40 years down the line, be
I
like,
can
yo,
say it, bro.
they sitting back like, girl,
Right?
you know, I could have had this, that, and the third.
And our friends like, yeah, whatever. Like,
I mean, it happens on both
Nah,
sides.
that's a fact.
On both
And
sides.
like I said, I wish I would have
Niggas
taken
fumble the ball too.
I
Like,
would-
damn, boy, you know I could have. And she with this motherfucker?
That's a fact.
Shit.
Damn, I fucked
Ain't
up.
that some shit?
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean? Like,
But like,
So-
but no, like,
You with a nigga that wears you with a nigga that wear women's five.
hey, yo, don't
What
even
kind
talk.
of intimidation is
Yeah,
that
you
when you
stupid.
walk in the house, you thinking that's one of the kids' shoes?
nah,
Ain't
this
none of the kids' shoe that
Yo.
nigga wear women. This is a women's five.
Kick
Yeah,
that shit.
that's-
No, I get this
Yeah.
shit out of
Nigga,
here.
I would hang them shit on my rearview mirror.
kids say,
What is all right, shorty dude? What?
They gonna get a splash screen.
Yo, he's stupid.
get to go
So like,
kids say,
like, word. But like you said before, bro, years ago, you like,
I didn't mean to get
Nah.
on the subject, but like you said, you know, back to what you were saying. But like I said, this brother right here, he gave me some knowledge of things that I didn't know. And like I said, I went and gave a lawyer stupid ass money, bro. I'm talking stupid ass money to
I
get.
mean, a lot of that is because we don't know.
No,
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and then let me say this too. It's a lot of brothers out here. Let me say this too. And give them it's good that you gave me the knowledge too. But let me say this to some of y'all brothers too, man. Very, very seriously. It's like I can say this 100%. If a lot of you brothers out here feel like you're getting duped or what you're giving is way too much, then go out there, find the paperwork, go out there and seek the knowledge after you get a lawyer. Before you get a lawyer, I would say, get what knowledge you can. Because some of us don't know how to file paperwork. Some of us don't know where to get the knowledge from.
Right.
So if you are able to, okay, go get you a lawyer, file for custody. File for full custody. Because being that where we are at,
All that shit.
let me say this, being that where we are at in the Bible state belt, you don't have as many rights if you're not married to the mother. Now, if you're married to the mother, things are different.
Well,
Let
I can partially agree with that.
let me give what and like I said, I got a lot from you that I did not know before I went and got a lawyer. But there are rights that you have as a man in these Bible Belt states. You just got to go out there and seek them.
Well, no, and see that's a lot of the hindrance that a lot of men feel that they don't have no rights or that.
And that's how I was.
The mother have all the rights.
That's how. That's
No,
what I was told.
No, that's not.
See,
that's
and-
not true.
And it's
Because
student.
that's your biological property.
Student.
That's your
Teacher.
biological property. Nobody can tell you what to do with your child.
Student. I'm a
The
student.
mother has 50% and the father has 50% from the jump.
you gotta tell them that again, because that
From
shit be
birth.
saying like that.
Yes.
Like,
Nobody can tell you that you don't have no rights to your children or your child. You have 50%. The mom has 50%. Period.
But and let me
Now they may manipulate you.
yes, they
He
do.
who can be fooled, let him.
Yes, you can.
That's a
And
maximum.
I got, speaking of that, because I got a young brother of mine, a really, really good friend of mine, just went through a similar situation where him and his significant other separated, and he had the child for a certain period of time that he was supposed to have him for, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna keep my little man for this week.
Right.
So she tells him, okay, that's fine. He keeps the little man, he keeps the child for the week. She decides that she wants to go out and have fun, and it turned into 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, after 2 weeks, he decides that he says, okay, fuck it. I'm going to keep little man myself. Well, guess what she did? Beaufort County Police Department. She should have went to police.
Right.
Now, speaking of what you're telling me, see, he didn't know all of his rights.
Right.
And another thing is, too, is that you may have these rights to my brother, but unfortunately is that because the system does not dig as deep into the rights of a father, being that we in the Bible Belt. So when they come with the mother and they say, hey, you got to give that child up. Now, it's true, like you said, you have these rights, but they can inconvenience you because now you have to go to court to prove that you have these rights. So either you give the child back to her, or we're gonna lock you up.
That's crazy.
You understand what I'm saying, my brother? I get what you're saying.
It is tedious because if the child lives with the mother, then yes, she is the custodial parent. But if there is an agreement between the mother and the father, nobody can come in between.
And I agree. But
nobody can come.
But what happens is then the mother says, "Oh, that's not what I said. I want my child."
No, the agreement has to be in writing.
See, and that's
because the spoken word flies out the window.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
No, talk to me.
Yeah, talk to him.
I be trying to tell him.
See, I'm learning these things. See, and had I known all these things, I could save myself.
Nah, the spoken word flies out the window.
Exactly.
The written word,
that written contract.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's a contract. Nobody can come between that contract.
And when you show the police that written contract, remember this:
back off.
You got to get it notarized.
They're gonna back off.
I got to get it notarized.
They're gonna back off.
Once they see that stamp on there and they read that, well, ma'am, it does show. Just say that he has 6 o'clock.
Yeah. No. I mean that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying, my brother? And I had known this fact. These things, I could have saved myself $10,000 to $12,000. Let me say this to my brothers out here, and brothers.
Tell them before we sign off, we got to go.
Boy, let me tell you, some of y'all.
That's all it was about. Now let's talk about the fake shrimp that these people found in Charleston at the restaurants.
I just had fried shrimp.
You know what I mean? Because
I ain't know nothing about that.
Yeah, man, the Low Country Shrimp people, they filed suit against like 44 restaurants in Charleston. Because they said they were selling local shrimp, but they were selling imported shrimp.
Okay,
wow.
I know. Okay.
It was only 4 restaurants that was actually selling local shrimp.
Oh damn!
That's something to talk about.
What's the rest?
But they got a list on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh wow! Big shrimp.
But it's
not fake, but imported shrimp.
Yeah, it wasn't all about child support and all that.
We got a little bit extended because, like I said. It's a touchy subject. It is because, and let me say this because we're dealing with 3
intellect
of the single father thing, single father syndrome.
Yeah.
I should say, are those who are not with the current mother of their children, and we all learn from each other different aspects of what can be done. And this brother right here.
Well, that part of my life is over, man. Like, because at the same time, like I said, like if the man and the woman can come to an agreement and an even agreement,
we can write it down and sign
and y'all can, present that agreement and hold up to that agreement. Now, if anybody falls short of that agreement, then they got to face the consequences.
Yes.
But that agreement should settle it all. I mean, some of these people been together for 19 years and 13 years and 9 years and. You know what I mean? You got this man out here looking like
to that 13.
You got this man looking like, you know what I mean? Like he don't do nothing for his children. You know what I'm saying? Or got this man working 3 and 4 jobs with no license. You know what I mean? Like
three jobs. I used to work 3 jobs.
Yo, that's me too.
I used to work 3 jobs.
I used to work 2
and
jobs
and
catering on the side.
I still ain't.
Me neither.
Well, let me tell you
After
something.
3 jobs,
It's
triple broke.
It's a real. I have to say that it's a real statement when somebody says, "If you chase money, you will never get it." I used to chase money before I had 3 jobs, and I was still broke. I couldn't understand why. Triple broke. Triple broke. Couldn't understand why. You work 3 jobs.
The more money you spend.
Well, you can't afford
The
nothing.
more money you make, the more money you spend.
Nigga, you work 3 jobs and you still fronting from the weed man.
Yeah, man, because you triple broke.
He looking at you like, fam,
You work 3 jobs? Yeah, hey man, I need 7. I need 7 till Friday. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 jobs, nigga? Hey, nigga, listen. For every job, I had a weed man.
Hey, yo, right? Well, with this one, I got you on Thursday, yo. Got you on Tuesday,
This
bro.
one, this one pay every 2 weeks. This one pay every week. And I got the every week job. You know what I mean?
Hey, cuz, remember, right?
You saw you
You know what I'm talking about.
back in the day.
My
Back in
cousin.
the day. Back in the
Hey,
day.
my cousin, I give it with the J. Remember, cuz,
You
right?
stupid,
Thank
yo.
you, man, for
Oh,
everything you
thank
did.
you, yo.
Cause you know I was mentally, bro. But
I mean,
I'm just
it
saying,
be
but
like that. No,
yeah,
I mean,
you know,
because life be like life was
it's
life back then.
listen,
Life
bro.
been life back then. We just ain't realize what life was doing.
Boy, I
You
just-
know what I'm saying?
like I said, if I listen to my elders, I will be in a much better position. I'm not in a bad one, but oh Lord, I could have did so much better if I listened to them.
Yeah, I mean,
But like you said, you living on emotions and you trying to fix something that you didn't break.
that I didn't break it.
You stupid, yo. This is
That-
what happened to me. Voice all the time. It don't be you all the time.
It don't
man.
be you, man.
Sometimes it's other
You
person,
know?
bro. It don't always be you.
It don't be
You beating
you,
yourself
man.
up like you beating yourself. Nah, it don't be you, bro.
It took me a long time to get where the fuck I am. I still ain't all the way there yet. I can say that as a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Past
still-
where he was, though.
I'm still fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You know what I'm saying?
But that,
I'm still-
it's,
better than what
you're never gonna be satisfied until you feel you're satisfied.
Yeah, you
Never.
know, and that's the thing too with relationships as well too. You know, unfortunately for myself, I can honestly say that I'm never gonna be satisfied. Unfortunately, it's a cup too big to fill, and you know what I'm saying. I find myself trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, you got this. You should be great, but look over there.
You stupid, yo. He said, well, look over
I
there.
can't go over there because the
Stupid.
nigga over there ain't for you.
That too. Everything that you like ain't for you, bro.
You
You
know,
look good.
and I can say this too. You know,
look good.
bro, let me say this, and I'm somebody who believes in a higher power, but let me say this too. Sometimes the devil will give you what you want faster than God will.
He always
And I
do.
mean that in the sense of not
So-
saying that
I mean, but he always do.
because the devil knows what you really want. God knows what you need.
The devil ain't evil though.
The
The
crazy,
devil is not evil.
the crazy thing is, bad though.
Nah, the devil not
Oh,
evil.
run it, man, run it.
Nah,
run it.
because-
Run
because-
the whole thing.
No, the devil's not evil. The devil just give you. He show you. Like, okay, you want this or you want this.
And then I heard, hold on, I don't know if you, I heard that, this is what I heard, the devil can't even really act
No, you
unless
got,
God,
no. You have to.
Well,
you
no.
have to give him the invite.
that, okay, well, I heard he can't act unless God give him that, like, you know what? Alright, check it out, like, alright, you praying, you like, yo, I'm gonna stop this, God, I'm gonna stop this, and then you see something, and then he be like, God, look at your man. He said he was gonna stop. I just heard God get to say something, basically.
It's
Right.
you.
To the devil to be like,
It's a voluntary.
you know,
You ain't never seen Lucifer, the TV
Nah.
show Lucifer. Watch the TV show Lucifer. He presents you with what you want.
Yeah.
It's up to you to choose.
Yeah.
You can go the good route or you
Yeah.
can go his route.
Because like this,
It's
like
you. You got the choice.
like with Gabriel being mad at God because God gave men the choice to choose.
Yeah.
And
You
someone
got the
someone
choice.
get it wrong and be like,
That's-
"Oh, you saw your soul. Your soul is not. You can
No,
never
you
say your
say
soul
soul.
because
No,
your
no.
soul doesn't belong to you. What you do is you give them your. You don't give them your soul. You give them your. Oh God,
Your
how you
will,
say it?
pretty
Give them
much.
your will. Yeah,
Your
because
will
the
is
soul
good.
belongs to God. But
Yeah.
you say, okay, I'll give you the will.
Yeah.
To, you know.
control.
So it's
Yeah, that's crazy. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what it is.
That's I had to speak on. Like I said, I told bro we was gonna speak about that subject. That's really
Now,
what
I get a lot. I mean, when it comes down to that subject, I get a lot of flack on Facebook because I share a lot of it's my man on Instagram. I follow him from Instagram. Child support is fraud.com.
Very, and I after we talked, a couple casts ago, I ended up running into that. I ended up running into that, and he was explaining all the contracts, and he broke it down. I actually kept going into some of his older
because
of the posts.
It is fraud,
and
when you sit back, and again, a lot of it is because we was deterred and thrown off from like school time, but it's three branches of government, right? The executive, legislative, and judicial. Child support covers all three of them. That's fraud. They can't. They're not supposed to.
Yeah, but so you have to stay within one sector of that.
But child support don't it's administrative. Because when you go into the office, you don't see a judge. You see a representative from the child support administration. That's fraud. That's fraud. Because I'm not.
That's fraud.
That's
fraud.
It's depriving me of due process.
You don't know child
support. You know what I'm saying? So it's fraud. But people really don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, they cover all three branches, and they're not supposed to.
Y'all gonna have to pay
right
for
now.
this.
Right now, I'm trying to figure out how to get my bread back. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to contact my man because he's working on the same thing, trying to get his money back. Because I mean, once you can get a refund.
Yeah, he said my and I can't really dig into that. My situation is different. I don't pay child support like he says. All three of my children live with me full time.
That's what's up.
I've taken care of them, given them everything. It's with the exempt to my oldest daughter who was not with us for the last maybe 6 or 7 months, but me and her just kind of had a reconnect. So she'll be coming back home very soon. But my situation is different. But it's different, but it's still on the same constructs of child support.
It was child support. The state getting paid off you. It's all. That's all that matters. The state getting bread for you. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
I close them all.
The state getting that bread from you, cuz.
When they go back to school,
federal government pays
$8,000 per child. I send them back all the Jordans and all the high-end shit. I take them to exclusive resorts where they can go to water parks and they can have fun. And my main goal is to give them everything they want so they don't go back.
I feel you, man.
They ain't got no choice. When they go over there, when they used to go over there, hey, Dad, when you coming to get us?
I just dropped you off, man.
My son used to call me 5 o'clock in the morning.
You lying.
God damn, nigga.
I know you up.
I can't go to your mama's house at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Like, but I can be outside.
Yeah, I
can be outside, though. You can't get in trouble for that. You know what I mean?
Yo, man.
Yeah.
Definitely a great talk. I'm sorry we weren't able to get into other other subjects, but like I said, it's a very passionate subject that we're talking about here. We're talking about child support, especially on the men aspect, because I would say definitely there are more. It got to be at least 90% of men who pay more into this child support thing than there are women. And I'm not saying that women don't, but there are a lot of men out here who are we are being crucified, man, for child support, man. I mean, I know some men who, like I said, are paying numbers that are astronomical, and they're not even thinking about what it costs to live every day, And
you want to know where the money goes, where the child support money goes.
Oh,
the mother gets whatever sometimes.
Okay.
And it depends on the state you stay in.
Okay.
Sometimes. Okay. But the money goes to the judge's retirement fund.
Man,
shut up, boy. They know that.
For real?
Knew that.
Yeah.
I should have.
How much percent of that?
It depends on how much a person pays on child support.
I understand.
It varies.
Wow.
The state the more you pay in child support, the more money the state gets.
I got you.
The less you pay, the less the state gets. So if you paying $300, the state may get $175,000.
And the cat that's paying $25.
The state may get $100,000. You know what I mean? It just depends. But the most of that goes to the retirement fund of the judges in the county.
$25 a week.
We'll get that shit.
$25.
I wasn't going to say that. I wouldn't lie. The live is on. I can
You want to know why? You want to know why?
That shit
The reason why is because the judges that sit on the case for the child support case, they're not in their judicial capacity.
Mm-hmm.
They're in an administrative capacity.
I understand.
They're not operating in the judicial capacity. They're just administrative. They just there to be a referee.
You said that before.
The child support administration is controlling and operating and manipulating everything. They coming up with the price. They coming up with the amount. They coming up with this because it's ultimately the child support administration that's going to get the federal funding from the government, and they going to kick the judge off something.
Dang!
I want to know
How
many men out here get $2,000 and $3,000 a month for child support given to them to take care of their children.
But when you look into when you really look into the system, man, I mean, it's fucked up. It don't benefit the mother or the
If
father.
I can get $2,000, $3,000 a month, I can tell you right now, I'm going to get me a Maserati.
You stupid, Joe.
I'm going to get me a pedicure.
You stupid, man.
I'm just
But yeah, that's what it is, man. I mean, I there's a lot more that could be said, but it's just like I said, it's a sensitive subject. It's a sensitive topic.
It is amongst men too,
and everybody's situation is different. Everybody is like we was just saying before we went live. Everybody is not going to read. You know what I mean? Like I said before, like yo, it's 49 different definitions for the word person.
Mm-hmm.
How many people knew that?
I didn't know.
And which person are you? If it's 49 different definitions, which one is you?
And I read avidly. I read a lot. I do put in my time with reading. You know, otherwise I wouldn't have this kind of vocabulary or vernacular.
Not the vernacular.
I've been told that before. Oh my God, you're so articulate. Oh boy, you know what that means, right?
Yeah, you know.
Gotta be, man.
Thank y'all for tuning in, man. We did wanted to touch on that subject today. I was told to speak on that, and we did definitely speak on that. Don't feel no kind of way. You know, we're giving our opinions up here on what either we went through or been involved in or whatever have you. So, you know, respectfully, we're giving out our opinions on the matter. But again, if you have comments, if you have questions you want to send in, y'all know what to do already. Hit the emails, hit the inboxes, and let us know, man. For real.
Let me say this too before we you know, I've had some interaction with some people here and there now in the last couple of weeks, and I've had some good responses. But let me say this: if you watching the podcast, right? Don't just view the shit. Hit the like button. Baby. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment. I had some of y'all. Yeah, man, I see your podcast. You hit the like button? No, I hit the like button.
Yeah.
You saw it, but you hit the like button. You know that.
We gotta support each other, man. It's crazy how.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what that is? That's secretly.
Yeah.
And if you got a subject you want to talk about, you feel like you're a better cast member than me, then bring your ass on the podcast and talk about it. Okay? Because I'm going to say what I want to say. I ain't got nobody to answer to. I know some of y'all got to go up to a broad and be like, oh, how you going to say something like that right there? I said,
you stupid, yo.
You got to edit none of this, kid.
I edited this shit.
He never does. He called me the brother. Hey, the brother didn't ask me, and I appreciate that, but hey, I ain't got nobody
I
to
called him
answer
like,
to.
yo, bro, you want me to keep that joint? Like, hell yeah. I'm like, that's word, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all know how we do, man. We live every Saturday, man. We are live now on TikTok.
Don't tell me that, boy.
We got a bigger house on TikTok. You know, we thank you, Facebook. We gonna still come visit, but we gonna need y'all to come over to TikTok.
Brain,
for sure.
Y'all want,
you know what I mean?
Scroll that, real quick.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? I understand.
We got the gang in here, man. Thank y'all for
Brother
tuning
Corey,
in.
thank Thank you for all your knowledge, man.
Hey, right
Thank
up,
you very
right
much,
up,
man.
right
You
up.
know what I'm
Shout out
saying?
to Tissa and her.
Brother right here, he has,
he
very much enlightened me to some new,
Fly Girl boutiques. The Fly Girl boutiques.
Shout out to Tissa. What up, sis?
They was going in over there, man. They had the sweets. They had the sweets. They had the the plushy girl attire. They had all that.
Hey, see, this is why I gotta get the fashion show back. I was telling Tony about that too. And I do want to
set up. I think it was that Black Green.
Oh, Audio.
Black Rangers.
Levy.
I don't know about none of this stuff right here. Wow, I gotta really tune in.
Invite on.
Invite on.
Nah, I'll be for
Right. Hey, I understand how it go.
I do want to shout out.
And shout out Bridget. They be going, yo,
The new restaurant you got there, sister. You are killing it. Listen here. I drove by the restaurant and
nah, man, you can sit out on the lawn and everything.
Listen.
Sit out on the lawn and everything,
right.
man. The
Brothers,
ambiance
it's
is
crazy because I drove out. I was wanting to Savannah. I drove to Bluffton. And I swear to God, it had been about 9:30, and there was people out in, you know, like, and I was like,
you know,
because you know, I'm looking for a little. When I was told about it, you know, and I know sometimes when we do things, it's not always
we perceive it to be this.
not
to be like that, but. No, I heard it was lit.
Girl, you got a place bigger than Squat and Gobble and Bluffton, girl.
Nah, it's lit, man.
It was lit. It's very, and I've heard it. And people out here that go, best things about it.
They say they go like 4 or 5 times. They're like, I'll go every other day. I'll go. I'm like, damn.
For a sister to have a facility like that right there, I am always impressed. I haven't even eaten it yet, but just driving by, it's packed. It's
donuts
packed.
in the morning, man.
Shout out to Bridget. What's it called?
My Daisies.
My Daisies. And shout out Old Town Golf Carts.
Shout out Damien.
Shout out Damien at Old Town Golf Carts right there in the promenade in Bluffton. He definitely used. That's one of our sponsors. He used to sponsor. He's always down.
Nice.
And he's a big supporter. So shout out Damien. What's up, bro?
Nice.
Yeah. Tune in, man. I know what it is.
Say shout out to Ruby Lee's. You guys make one of the best old fashions. I'll have to say that. Tim. You and the whole staff out there, love y'all.
Shout out to Ruby Lee.
Definitely. Good time.
Oh, what time?
Shout out to
Kinda Blue.
Oh, Kinda Blue, yeah.
He definitely rock with y'all. That's all fam too. I rock with
good
shout out to
music.
Brooke. Shout out to
Good
Sterling.
music.
Yeah.
Definitely. Dang.